Mr. Schaub, sorry for your loss.
Alrighty, guys, we're back with another episode of the Bapaverse. Let's get into it as always.
Yeah, but wait a minute. He's not supposed to be taking anything. You're talking about a guy who's already lost his ability to make a living from Mexican pills. Like, why would he ever just take something off the shelf at GNC?
Well, we're not giving the guy kudos because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
Sharpest.
Sharpest.
tool
What
in
I
the
say.
shed. Smartest tool in the shed.
Well, tools are smart too. Might have smoked a little weed.
Mr. Schaub.
Alrighty, so first clip I want to show you guys is this one called Bapa Can't Say Bussin' with the Boys and Other Redactedness. Now, this one, Brenda gets called out for obviously having troubles with saying certain words or even saying the name of the podcast or the name of these two guys' podcast, which is Bussin' with the Boys. Instead, Brendan likes to say Bussin' with the Bros. So now, you know, they finally invite Bussin' with the Bros to the podcast. They finally have them on, and they also have a podcast, a very, I guess, popular podcast right now. And so they go in, and then Taylor, this guy right here with the hat, tells them, with the one that says "Stay Rad," he tells Brendan, like, "Hey, you keep saying Bussin' with the Bros, like every time you keep saying it, you know." So let's get to that clip right now. Let me just show you this.
James said something like "bussin' with the bros."
That's his little. It's his.
I
little
always.
stick,
It's my
bro.
head.
That's your thing. That's a.
No,
that's a
it's something. I don't. It has to be a
He's
mental
terrible
block.
with
that's that UFC.
No,
know what happened?
Might be. You know what? I think it's more football than UFC.
You think so?
Yeah,
That was the
Bubba.
Buffaloes?
Yep, and you're headed down the same path,
no,
bro.
dude.
Welcome to your future, Daddy.
No.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Backed out on-
How bad is Jelly crushing it, bro?
Dude, he's murdering it.
Arenas,
Murdering
Daddy.
I mean, we were talking about like Steve Byrne. Like he's another good guy, man.
When Jelly first, we met Jelly the day you came on with Theo.
I brought Jelly
Yeah, you
there.
brought Jelly.
Jelly
Jelly
wasn't
first started the
big,
show.
and Jelly goes, "Man, I love Bussin' the Bros."
Bussin' the Bros.
And Jelly's been my boy way before he blew up. And I go, "Come with me." He goes, "No, you think they'll have me on?" I'm like, "At least come, meet them, and then after that, get their number."
Yes.
He's like, "You think they'll have me on?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I know they're my guys." I forced Jelly to come with me and pushed him on you guys. What the?
Sexual transgressions are somehow they destroy you.
Well, why don't you cry about it?
So yeah, that one, I think what Brendan's mind does is it like kind of consumes something else and makes it also another part of Schaub. Like in Brendan's definition of, Brendan's way of saying things and the way he speaks go together, and they mesh up with the word that is the real thing, but likes to make it his own, right? Like it's the modern, it's the thing. It's called the Schaubism, right?
Chauvinese has become our part of our lives. Everyone, it's what it is, Luke. Okay.
You know, he says it's a mental block, and yeah, you have a lot of those. We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to all these mental blocks because the bros call him out on certain things that he says wrong throughout the whole episode.
Bussin' the Bros.
Bussin' the Bros.
We're paying your life.
Here's this next clip called "We Talmbout T-Sirts." We talk. It's so hard to say because it's so mispronounced. We talmbout T-Sirts.
T-Sirts.
All right, let's do this.
Like he gave him on Rogan, he called him the Golden Snitch, and that is, if you look him up,
Golden Snitch is
look up.
I made T-Sirts called
Now
Golden Snitch.
Chin's having a problem because he can't spell that name, and I don't get.
I got it perfect.
Look at that.
Jeff Nowitzki.
Dude, the way you pronounce some words, we just kind of got past T-Sirts a second ago.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Let's just let's Brendan just be himself. Let him say the word he wants.
The 145 champ, Max Hollywood. With Cody Garrett. Fassbender is the truth. Like John Africa.
Who the hell is John Africa?
And Zaylee Wang. Chudakin. Francis Gano.
What?
Or Dan Ho Choi. Evil Chinese man. And Jingling. Who's Asian as shit. He's the smartest tool in the shed.
Here we got another one. So this clip is called Orcasin Straight Up Killer Whale Bee Top 3 Murderers Row. All right, let's play that.
But I think as far as like that young, like that class right there, obviously Shane Gillis is a beast. Mark Norman's a monster.
Yeah, but that's
Big J.
You're
Big
using,
J. Orcasin.
I don't think I like those guys. They're great, but they're too young. I mean, I think the guy.
Here we go. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Big J. Big J. Orcasin.
I don't think I like.
Big J. Orcasin. He's a straight up killer whale. Here we got this next clip called "Great Friend, Never Met Him."
Self-sabotage a little bit, and then he got the NFL, and he's like, "Oh, I can't get away with this."
Right.
No.
But it's too late.
You're Baker Mayfield. Get out of here. You know?
Is there anybody who could be? You could never be a quarterback without studying film and being
not at that level.
hyper
Not
crazy
that level.
about your.
Kyle Murray doesn't study film. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray plays the game though. You got the reaction time for Call of Duty.
He's a freak.
Yeah,
He is a freak.
he's a
athlete.
freak athlete.
Freakazoid.
And his little
He's a
feet are like
first
little
overall pick
pistons,
in
dude. It's
baseball, too.
crazy.
He has one season left to pull it off, then
Hey,
he'll get rid of him.
But to go back to the Johnny Manziel thing, what a wild time that was, because that was the same time as Manti Te'o and the whole girlfriend thing.
That untold story was incredible.
I haven't seen that yet.
Me and Manti
Oh,
Te'o
yeah,
became
yeah.
friends after that because I was sticking up for him on here, and then me and him started DM.
Who?
Good guy. Mantile.
Mantile?
Oh,
They were just talking about it a couple of seconds ago, and he just flustered and completely forgot the name. This goes against Brenda's narrative of listening to a name and then being able to pronounce it right the next time.
You guys know how maybe you guys were like this in class or in school growing up. When I see a word, it can be challenging for me. If I hear it, I'm good.
A few moments later.
Yana Kunitskaya.
Yana Kuntsiyaya.
Jack talk Thai. Jack talk Thai very well.
Frustrates me.
What'd you call him? That's when you're boys with him. Like
He knew
that.
me for 5 years. My wife at the time. He's like, and I was like, he goes, and this is my wife, and I was like, you don't know my wife's name, and he goes, I'm busy, bro.
Oh no! 5 years at a house party. It's tough, man.
Can you be a little bit more?
You can only keep so many up here.
I'm pretty bad with names, but not
Man.
that bad. Not that bad.
You do struggle with the names.
Oh,
Certain names, yeah. It
I'm
is
not
what
good
it
with
is.
names.
and don't
either.
go to him if you're having a down day. If you're having
Damn,
a down
did
day,
Brendan-
whatever you more.
You can only keep.
Did Brian say that Brendan forgot his wife's name? Let me hear that again. See.
This is my wife, and I was like,
Oh, that's when you're boys with him. Like
he knew
that.
me for 5 years. My wife at the time. He's like, and I was like, he goes, and this is my wife, and I was like,
So he forgot Brian's wife's name. There we go. I thought Brendan forgot his wife's name. I mean, it's kind of a possibility too. You know, he's so bad at names that it's just there's a small chance he might forget his own wife's name. Yeah, that man struggles with all different kinds of words and also names. Some might say it's the knuckles to the head, or
It has to be a
He's
mental
terrible
block.
with
That's that UFC.
You know what happened?
You know what? I think it's more football than UFC.
You think so?
Yeah,
That was the
Bubba.
Buffaloes?
Yep, and you're headed down the same path.
no,
Well,
dude.
welcome to your future, Daddy.
No.
or I don't know, maybe all the nicotine in his mouth prevents him from enunciating all those words. But you know, whatever, man, whatever.
Oh, really, dude?
So next clip we got is this one called Brenda's corners his guest with a rude question. Let's play this.
So you guys are my boys. I love you. Me and Will been friends for how long? I love Will.
Yeah,
One
and
of
then
my
me
favorites.
just like
school,
6
man.
months
I've
shorter.
known
But
since
yeah.
1970. Where we go back to the 70s. But when I saw the power slap stuff, I was like, oh, it's brilliant by Dana what they're doing, having people like you and the Nelk boys and everyone like, and you know Nina and being like, power slap's the best thing I've ever seen. I'm like, man, what are they paying those boys? What are they paying those boys to do this?
Is that the question?
From the
Look at it. Look at how he's like, yeah, that's a loaded question there, brother. It's like, how do I know what Dana thinks about paying them? Like, do you think I've asked Dana, like, hey, bro, thank you for inviting me to this function, but also I don't like how you're treating your slap fighters. You know, it's such a weird thing to. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful, but yeah, I mean, who other than Brendan there to lay that question there? You know, also, you know what? Give him credit for having the balls to do it.
love.
That's the question.
That's the
Love the
question.
heart.
You don't have to answer.
That's a hell of a question.
No, they need to answer. It's been months I've been waiting for them to come and ask us. Because here's my thing. I'll be very clear. If they hit me up, even though I don't hate on it anymore. At first, I was like, dude, what the hell? He's just bored. And I get it. If I had that much money, I'd be bored too. So
Dana ain't hitting you up, brother. Just give it up already.
they start the Power Slap Fight League. My only thing was when I first saw you guys on board, I was like, oh, what are they paying those boys?
I mean, that's a personal question. I'm on record as saying you don't have to answer that.
No,
You
that's easy.
No,
it's easy. He doesn't pay us at all.
It's just content for you guys.
There's a game. There's an element of content. There's an element of
being the cool kids club.
Yeah, like you do want to get around other.
Oh, so Brendan asked them, "Hey, how much money did you guys sell yourselves out for?" And you can see right here, Taylor's just kind of not having it there. He's like, "Wow, really?" And then they're like, "No, we're not getting paid. We're just going over there because it's fun. And also, we get content out of it." So in a way, he is paying us, but we have to make the content to make the money.
Audiences and have opportunities to meet other people at these events.
I'm not hating on it in any facet.
To essentially get some relationship.
yeah.
He's not hating on it in any facet. Everything about that. And then the next question after that is you hating on it. Hating on them and hating the fighters. And I also, you know what? I don't like slide fighting. I'll tell you that much. But, you know, to tell them, hey, like, what's up with you guys? You don't have morals or something? It's like, yeah, it's gutsy, you know? What are they going to do? They're going to beat them up for that? So here we got this next clip. This one's called Barndoor's Attempted Slide on Dana White's Gets Gadooshed. Let's watch this one.
Dana is like, he's the man holding my hand as I'm gambling my own money.
Dana's not that generous.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be like, here,
No,
Taylor, here's,
listen,
you know,
he's pretty
100K.
generous.
He's generous, dude. I was
You guys
down,
have to say that,
I was
yeah.
down at one point $300,000.
He's generous.
You gotta say that.
He's
Yeah.
generous.
Hold on. Say that number again.
I was down at one point of this night. This is a week ago. $300,000.
You gotta stay at the
Now
table.
I've told you how much I've won, so there's in my
You're still good,
psychopathic
though.
mind, I can say, oh, I'm
That's
up
where
still.
I'm at.
I'm down at some point at $300,000. There are slappies sitting at this table with us, like with 14, 15 on the table.
So it's just, you know, Brendan is really, really trying to hate on Dana. And it's, I get it. They have this beef. They've had this beef for such a long time. Brendan is trying to get something out of it, right? He's trying to extract a little bit of information. Also, you know, kind of say that Dana's a bad dude. But Taylor comes out and says, hey, man, like, you know, he's actually cool with us. And I lost a shitload of money because I was gambling with him. Because Dana, if you guys didn't know, he's a degenerate gambler. And he's also been banned from certain casinos for gambling so much that the casino's like, enough, you know, you're making us go bankrupt. So he's got this thing in the, you know, the casino world that when they see Dana around, they know that he's going to go spend a F load of money, right? And, you know, Brendan, when he left the UFC, one of the biggest problems he had was the whole Adidas, I think at the time, or the Reebok deal, that they weren't going to allow outside sponsorships. And that was one of the main reasons he also left, and also because of, you know, Joe Rogan telling him, you know, you suck at fighting. So he was very much outspoken about the whole sponsorship deals, and he was not okay with it, and also at the same time shitting on Dana for being greedy, basically. I'm not gonna continue this whole on because then you're gonna say, oh yeah, like Dana helped me with this much amount. We don't need to see that. Okay, we don't need to see that much about this sucking, you know, this dick sucking. And yeah, they're giving Dana a lot of good PR here, just out of Brendan's expense here. They just made Dana look good.
What's paying your life?
So here's the next clip. A convo about Power Slap League leads to discussing Bapa's status with Dana White. So they're going to talk about, hey, you know, what's up with you and Dana right now? What's your current relationship?
I will go back to that, and I will say you should see it live. It's a wild thing.
Why haven't you seen it live?
And I see what you guys are doing here, and I like it.
It's, dude.
No, I would go. I'm not going to get the invite. I'm not allowed in the building.
Sport on TikTok.
You and Dana are you guys?
We're fine. I give him more compliments than anything.
Oh, really?
Dude. To me, it just, if you're a fighter, you should know that Dana White, as the president of the UFC, doesn't give a flying fuck about your health. And for Dana, like, that's your boss, man. He sanctions things. He's the face of it. He's the one that brought this to the table. A man who's going to do that, you think he gives a fuck about your well-being when you retire from the UFC? This guy's trying to...
Also this the show starts like at 10, I think, or 11. And look at his face right now. Look how bloated it looks. And he's drinking whiskey like at 10 in the morning, dude. That tiger thick, that nectar, boy.
Squeeze every dime he can out of human fighting.
Okay, this one, the context of this is that Brendan said that Dana or the UFC kind of set up the fight at UFC 279, which was going to have Nate Diaz versus Hamza Chimaev, right? And then Hamza couldn't make weight, so he had to fight Kevin Holland because Kevin Holland was like 170, so they had to switch partners. So Brendan accused the UFC of basically like rigging the card, like trying to switch it up and, you know, purposely like making it, you know, make more money. I don't think it made much difference. And even Joe Rogan called him out on that and said,
it's it, Brandon Schaub. He gave his opinion on Dana. They ate his ass alive like piranhas.
It's so dumb. I didn't talk to him about that, but first of all, he's wrong.
Yeah, he's
wrong about the theory. Look, Brendan's my boy, but he needs a handler. Yeah. He needs someone like me around him all the time. What are you gonna do? No. Yeah. Here's why. Yeah. And he'll go, yeah, you're right.
He also calls him a low budget Vince McMahon. He like grills him. He tries to grill Dana with a bunch of stuff. Need I remind you, your origin story is a failed cardio kickboxing instructor who had two rich friends in high school to fund his business. He's just trying to, like, you know, roast, quote unquote, roast Dana here.
I promise we're fine. He might have an issue.
I feel like with Dana, it's you're fine or you're great or you're not.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I have no issues with him whatsoever.
Oh, yeah?
If he called me and was like, hey, can you cover this? Whatever he wants. I'm
down. If you cover Power Slap, would you?
Yeah. I have no issue with it.
And you would go and you'd feel that. He bet, yo, this shit is kind of.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I quit knocking. When it first came out, like me and the boys, the group chat was lit.
That makes sense. Bye.
So that right there from Dana, that makes sense. A reporter told Dana, hey, who said that? Brendan Schaub. He's like, that makes sense.
If you think that we told Hamzat Chimaev to not make weight, then Hamzat shows up and the fans are all pissed off at him and stuff, and he's going to just, I mean, and knowing, if you know anything about the sport, this is a guy that was actually in the sport, training and fighting and everything else. If Pat really said that, it's fucking, holy shit. We might have to send him out to the fucking clinic here, the brain clinic, get him fucking checked out. All right, buddy. Done with me?
I believe that was Brendan Schaub who said that.
It was what?
Brendan Schaub who made up that conspiracy.
Oh, it wasn't Pat Militich?
I think so.
Well, I apologize to Pat Militich then. That makes sense. Bye.
So yeah, a lot of backtracking here. Maybe it's always like with Brendan, he's always like 1 foot in and then 1 foot out. And, you know, I don't think Dana's ever going to hit him back up. I think Dana thinks Brendan is an idiot. And also because of that comment too, is like, you're not helping yourself or anybody else with that comment you made saying that the UFC is rigging, you know, fight cards. Dicey. All right, next clip is called Will is talking about what he misses about the NFL days, and here comes Bapa.
Like when you're in it, it was the best.
Yeah, but when
you know how it is, like you're just like chasing something with the like-minded individuals. You're in a melting pot. The locker room is the fucking.
That's
best.
what I miss. I miss the boys.
Yeah,
I miss and we don't have that in LA.
Yeah,
when I first got in comedy, we had that, and it was like it filled this huge gap, and it was like, oh, here it is. I found my pack, my wolf pack. And then pandemic hits, and everyone goes their separate ways. Yeah, and so in LA, the comedy scene's done. As far
look. So they're talking about the comedy scene in LA, right? So now this is a kind of a special thing for Brendan because, you know, the person that got him in the business is Joe Rogan and Brian Callen, right? And during that era of the Fighter and the Kid that was doing really good and they were getting guests and they were like really well funded. They were, you know, everybody went on their show. Everybody, you know, Whitney Cummings, Theo Vaughn, Bobby Lee, Andrew Santino, everybody came on, right? Bill Burr, like everybody. But then during the pandemic, a couple of things got out, like Chris D'Elia's and also Brian Callen's accusations, and and then also Brendan's little thing that happened between him and Bobby, right? So then a lot of people went against them, or just kind of like turned their heads and went the different way and didn't want anything to do with them, including Will Sasso, who was also friends with Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia, and also did a podcast with them, a really popular podcast called the 10-Minute Podcast. And now Will Sasso is like, I wonder what those guys are doing now. He's just like kind of goofs on them from time to time when they ask him about it.
At the end of the show, it was first it was Brian and Chris. You remember those guys?
Yeah.
What are they up to? And then
It's like the comedy Rat Pack. Like, it's just not, the hang's not there anymore.
Sucks.
But that used to fill the void. Now that's gone, it's tough.
So what's keeping you here? Why don't
Great point.
Why don't you go to Austin? Why don't you go to these places that everyone's kind of moving
We're
to?
talking about things like that, but we still have some stuff going on here, and
not really, but no, I think, my thing is with Austin is when everybody's doing that, I don't want to do that. Does that make sense? Like, if I move to Texas, I'm going to like Fort Worth, where I can yell at people stepping on my lawn. Like, I want Texas. Austin's more liberal than here. Like, I'm not going to move somewhere that's liberal in another liberal
Austin,
place.
I can go get flavored nicotine.
You can find.
If on the outskirts.
Brendan's like, I'm not going to Austin because Joe's never going to invite me to the comedy mothership.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to 2 gas stations yesterday and they didn't have flavored nicotine.
You want flavored nicotine?
Yeah.
But
what are you doing?
Texas is sun hot. It's too hot.
I don't mind that.
It's Bible hot, man.
I don't mind that.
Biblical?
Dude, you got the beach.
You really
when I
can't
just
beat
sprints on
California
the
beach.
sand, you guys have a minute?
I mean, you're more.
All those guys like Joe and Tom, mostly the richer dudes, moved to Austin because of the taxes, right? So here we got another clip where Taylor Lewan disagrees with Schaub's narrative that comedians don't support one another. That's the clip. Let's watch it.
The comedy, dude, but going back to the comedy, how everyone just kind of dispersed and stuff like that, it's weird being on the outside and being able to be around comics like y'all, comics like Kreischer and Segura and DeStefano and these guys, because it seems like it doesn't seem that way. Like everyone's out for themselves.
Those guys are great.
I shouldn't say
great.
Yeah, I don't want that to come off
Schultz
like
is great. They're all great.
There are boys like Kreischer, brother from
great.
a very thick alcoholic mother. Like, I love Bert.
I love him.
Schulte, those are my guys. It's more the LA thing. I was just surprised. It's all good.
It's a dog eat dog. It's a dog.
It's
eat
Hollywood.
dog
Hollywood.
And everyone's gonna be fine.
With Hollywood,
sell tickets
it's
and
an
make money,
individual
but
thing. First of all,
it has to be more than
you're
that.
But isn't it more like the comedians that left to Texas don't really want you to be there? Because even still, I would imagine that Chris Stefano will probably have Brendan or even Brian back on there. I think for the most part, Chris D'Elia, they'll never have him on. Except for probably like Rick Glassman, I think, is the only one who had the courage to platform him. But other than that, like, Brian has been in other podcasts now. I don't think Your Mom's House is going to have those two guys that, anytime soon. The comedians in LA, I don't think they want any part of them. If they also have, Chris D'Elia and, Eric Griffin also as well, too, because I have not seen Eric Griffin in different people's podcasts. So I can see what Brennan is trying to say, but it's also part of the part of the problem is that Chris is a part of his group now. So, they don't want anything to do with Chris. So he's, the poison in the group. And then Taylor says, no, I mean, I see that New York people like do podcasts with each other all the time. That's where like Schaub's whole narrative falls apart, because all these other guys are friends. But hey, it seems like you guys have lost friends. What might be that reason?
Yeah, da 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 da, dunk 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 dunk.
Here we got this comment. Here we got Parrot Schaub. He says, it's so refreshing to see someone disagree with Schaub's idiotic narratives. Michael Rappaport is another. Aliki26 says, it's not just disagreement, it's calling this loser out on his lies that I appreciate.
Mr. Schaub.
So this last one we got is Brian Callen being very defensive about this thing that Chin brings up. Let's watch the clip, and you guys have to see this for yourselves. This clip is called "You're My Girlfriend Now," or how Callen picks his battles poorly.
I haven't seen
He like had no other choice, dude.
So have you seen this? There's a Spanish football president, and then so this women's team won the World Cup.
She kicked the game-winning goal, dude.
Yeah, and then he said he was like overcome with emotion, and I'll show you the video of him kissing her.
I saw this. Is this a Spanish thing?
Yeah, no. She said she didn't like it.
Oh, I don't like that either. It's uncomfortable. Is that a Spanish thing?
I mean,
It's a
that's her
woman,
coach.
too.
That's her coach.
Give me a break. He was just like excited. F off.
What do you mean give me a break? You mean give the coach a break?
Damn, calls for his resignation.
Fuck you.
Resignation.
Are you kidding?
But I mean, if that was your daughter, you wouldn't like that either, right?
If that was my daughter, like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he kiss just her or everybody on the mouth?
Just her.
It's just these dumbass people. F you. It's their coach. F you.
I don't know if it's a coach. Is it the president of the soccer thing?
It's fine. It's fine. Hey, she's fine. Everybody's
He
fine.
put, I made a mistake for sure.
fine.
I would accept it in a moment of emotion without any bad intention or bad faith. What happened,
talk to the people
happened.
in Ukraine. They're having a hard time. Fuck off.
We saw it as something natural and normal. Did she say anything?
She said she was on a live stream, and then they asked her what she thought of it. She goes, I didn't like it.
Ooh,
that was pretty much it.
There goes against Brian's whole defense. She was all right with it. Clearly not.
It though.
Fuck you.
Relax, Brian.
No, I won't. It's so dumb. They won this. They won the fucking World Cup, and he's allowed to just get carried away. Fuck.
He's
off.
allowed
That's
to
her coach.
get. He's allowed to kiss somebody, and now you're very defensive about a coach. This coach just like did something inappropriate, and you could have said, "Oh man, he shouldn't have done that, right? Like that's not cool." You know, this kind of environment he's around with Steven Crowder, from what we've heard about, it sounds pretty gross and a little gay, because it's not just only like some of the girls that work there too, but it's mostly the dudes who have a problem with it. So it's kind of, on par for Brian to think the way he thinks, and also be so upset, an old angry man about cancel culture. I can't touch anybody no more without anybody ratting on me or snitching on me. Let me go to the comment for this one too, just to end it here. Joe Son Sally says things that make sex assault permissible according to Brian. 1, if there's a war going on. 2, a team just won something. Yeah. Here's another one. Pussy Chang says cancel culture strikes again. Can a man just grape in peace these days? It's just like a lot of this is just stupid for Brian to just try to defend. It's like, bro, you're being accused of these things, and it's just not cool. Like how Chin said, like if this was your daughter, you wouldn't want her to just be like kiss like that. Yeah, I understand. There's like sometimes there's like cultural things when you like culturally sometimes these things happen where you kiss somebody on the side of the cheek and stuff. Right, you both kiss each other on the cheek, but not really kiss each other in the cheek. But this one was a straight up like right to the lips, and yeah, that wasn't very customary or traditional. So yeah, that's it for me. That's all I gotta say about this thing. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this right here. Let me know what you guys think of this. What was your favorite clip? I'll see you guys next time. Also, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye-bye.